Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to the discourse analysis class. This is a 4 credit courses. Will be lead by me, myself, Saiful Akmal. So in this class, we will discuss so many interesting topics from the first meeting to the last one, the 16th meeting. In between, we will have quiz at the 4th meeting, and then we will have a mid-test at the 8th meeting, and then again the second quiz will take place around the 12th meetings, and then we will have a final project. We will have a syllabus. I will distribute the syllabus per online, either for Google Drive or Google Classroom or even WhatsApp group, depending on which channel we are agreed on. And I would like to have also a pre-test. So seeing your perspective, your perception, what do you really think about discourse analysis, for example. I will also evaluate your attitude, for example, like discipline, either in assignment or attendance. What else? If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. I would also be very much open to your input regarding the assignments. We can also do the class outdoor if we need to. We can also create projects based from your opinions. And for example, in some of my classes, we had, for example, book projects. We have also websites projects. We have also video projects, for example. So I would use very much of experiential learning and project-based learning. If we can, we will also do the problem-based learning, which is very unusual to discourse analysis class, but mostly project-based learning and case study and so on. Then we come to the next part. This is what should we discuss and learn from discourse analysis. Discourse analysis, mostly people got confused what discourse analysis is all about. Discourse, only talk, no action, for example. But discourse play a very important role in our life. It's part of how language operates within our society. And discourse itself, we need to understand the theorist, the one who introduced the concept of discourse. And discourse is inhibited in our everyday life. We just don't realize that we did discourse. Okay? So discourse is asking what? Behind a sentence. But there is another extended version of discourse analysis, which is called critical discourse analysis. This is not only asking what, but also why. And in some cases, how. So for example, I told Nirmala that this room is very cold. Then in discourse analysis, we can use speech X, for example, that Nirmala then responds that, okay sir, I can help you reducing the volume of the air condition. So for example, that is discourse. And we use speech X as a tool. So in discourse, we have so many tools. For example, people thought that discourse and grammar can also be used as the tool. So for example, how many times did I say I? How many times did I say you, we, they? So in discourse analysis, we have, normally in grammar we learn pronouns or personal pronouns, I, we, you, they, right? And there is inclusive and exclusive personal pronouns. So that's an overview of discourse and grammar, for example, by using personal pronouns. Or we could also use discourse in a more broader terms. For example, discourse and literature. So there are, what we call it majas in Bahasa Indonesia, or figurative languages. Like we can also use hyperbole, or we can also use euphemism. So if you know, for example, in literature, we also have euphemism, we also have metaphor, we also have metonymy, we also have so many others. The most used and frequent discussed topic is perhaps like metaphor, like ontological, orientational metaphor. I feel down. So when you say feel down, you are using orientational metaphor, yeah. Or when you say time is money, yeah, it's also metaphor because time is not money. Or when you say Indonesian corruption is causing severe problem, so this is also metaphor, using the discourse of health into the discourse of politics, for example. And then we also have like metonymy, or what do they call this? Euphemism. So when you use particular words, it used to be bad and now it's to be okay or good. Or we use the word previously good and it's now bad, like the word terrorist, fundamentalist, or the words, I don't know, the government adjusts the price of gas amidst disaster, for example. It's not adjusting the price, it's hiking the price, elevating the price, yeah. So the customer have to pay more money, have to give more money to get a gas and fuel, for example. We could also use discourse in terms of like either written discourse, visual discourse, and spoken discourse. So I normally ask students, you should pick which of the discourse you want to have for mid-test, for example. If you pick, for example, visual discourse, what kind of movie you want to analyze, what tool of discourse analysis you want to use to do the analysis. If you pick, for example, spoken discourse, you can also pick like lecture, like we have now. You can also have a dialogue, a conversation. You can also have a broadcast in the TV or radio. So it's basically the thing that you feel more interested in. Or you could also pick the, what do they say? Visual discourse, written discourse. You want to write a leaflet, a brochure, an academic article. They have different features of language and discourse, right? So for example, if you find instant noodle, and you should use particular language to describe that. If you want to use past participle, or you want to use future tense, you want to use future tense for discoursing, for talking about your future plan, like what would you want to do after graduation, yeah, what kind of family do you want to have. If you want to talk about the past, means you do the different discourse. So for example, you use experience, yeah, and so on. If you do the present tense, then you talk about something different, and the language is also different. And then maybe before we proceed to that, we need to understand how many theories, discourse analysts, and how do they think. So for example, discourse and history, it's Ruth Wodak. Discourse and racism is Van Dyck. Discourse and ideology is Norman Fairclough, for example. Discourse in the classroom, Maxwell or whatever. So basically this is the introduction meeting, and I would like to take your opinion, your questions. How do we proceed with the learning contract, with the topic that you like the most? And for the first meeting, before we go and continue the class, I want you to pick one interesting topic from the syllabus that I have distributed to you, and then you explain why do you want to do this. You can do it orally, and you can also do it verbally. I mean, you do the assignment and write it down, and we will have a discussion. Why do you like this? And this could be your project for the quiz or for the mid-test. And I want you to do the scaffolding assignment. So if you pick this topic like language and propaganda for your blah blah blah, for example, You need to do it both for your midterm and also for your final test. But please pick one, the most interesting topic that I have shared with you in the WhatsApp group, and pick one, the most difficult topic that you think is not easy to learn too, for example. Yeah, so this is the first introductory 15-minute, 20 minutes, and you can have a discussion and see what I have distributed on WhatsApp, and then you pick the most interesting topic and the most difficult topic you think of, and we will have discussion, and then we'll divide the group according to you. And please also pick between the three: spoken, written, and visual discourse. You want to pick a movie, you want to pick a book, you want to pick I don't know, broadcasting. It's up to you. So I think we are good so far as introduction. Thank you very much. Now let's have individual session to pick the topic, and then we will divide the topic accordingly into the groups. Okay, how is everything, everyone? Do you feel that this exercise, individual exercise, satisfy you? Which one do you like? Have you decided? If you're done with this individual assignment, now let's go to the group works. Anyone who decided to go with spoken discourse? Okay, what's your topic? Okay, language and grammar, discourse and grammar. Okay, that one. You want to pick spoken discourse. What is your situations, the genre? Okay, political campaign debate, interesting. Yeah, you sit over there. Visual discourse, you want to pick a movie. What movie do you like? Yes? Okay, interesting movie. Yeah? And then who pick spoken discourse? You sit here. Visual discourse, you sit there. And then written discourse, you sit there. Okay, now please decide in the group 3 basic questions. First, why do you think you like this type of discourse? And you should decide which of the discourse tools you want to implement and apply with the chosen type of discourse. Okay, go on. See it accordingly. Okay, everyone, thank you very much for your wonderful group works. At least I knew that you have learned about the overall overview of what discourse analysis is, what are the type of discourse: spoken, written, and visual discourse, including banners and so on. And then you have also learned about the overview, what tools of discourse analysis, from grammar to politeness, for example, and maxims of Grice. Yeah. What we can do now is the closing session that we want you to reflect. Do you think now it's difficult? Yes, you? Okay, you think first it's difficult, but you started to like because you think that discourse analysis is realistic, right? It's not something, you know, like the tip of the iceberg. Yes, what do you pick? Okay, language and metaphor. Very well. Okay, so we have arrived at the end of the session of our first meeting. Yeah, please keep your group works with you. Next week we will talk about language and discourse and grammar, which is we're going to discuss exclusive and inclusive personal pronouns, and then we also discuss which of the conjunction that we can use in written discourse. So get ready on that part next week. For now, we are okay. I'll see you next week. Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Bye bye. See you again next week. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.